Underneath layers of human experience is a love so grand, so expansive. One could say it is light. A love so pure in the essence and form, in the formless, it becomes light. Time and time again, we have shared that underneath layers of human experience is the light that you hold, the light that you entered Mother Earth, to walk upon Mother Earth, to embrace Mother Earth, coming forth with the light, coming forth with the love, coming forth with joy, compassion, kindness. And time again, we share what life would be like to remove the layers, what life would be like to experience higher consciousness. For what is higher consciousness and what are the layers? So the layers, human experience, conditioning, judgment, and then it is the anger, resentment, heartache, sorrow, beating upon oneself, beating upon oneself, beating upon another in unkind words, unkind judgment. And all this covers one's magnificent, authentic self. For when one arrived, one held within all the love in its purest sense. Where does it go? It does not go anywhere. It remains deep within one's being. It remains deep in one's being to be found, to be brought forth. In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. What would a day look like if one truly was able to remove every unkind word that has ever been spoken or heard? Every unkind word that has been held in one's being for so long. Who would one be without condemnation? Who would one be without judgment, without harsh judgment? Who would you be if you removed every unkind word, thought, deed? If you found, we want to say, the miracle of letting it all go, as if one has never, ever experienced it, what would a day look like? What would one's personality look like? Ponder. It truly is almost too big to ponder, for ones carry with them something that was said decades ago, and then it became a belief. Come on, hurry it up. You know, that one is the slow one. Come on, why are you so slow? Come on. Come on, everybody is waiting for you. Why are you slow? Can you not tie those shoes a little more quickly? Can you not just get a move on? You know people are waiting. Why do you want to have others wait on you? Do you think you're the queen? And on and on and on it goes. All the while, the little one that was a bit slow, if you will, slow in motion, truly was finding the place of appreciation of the travel, taking the time to nourish, intuitively taking the time to appreciate one's surroundings. But instead of one saying, I appreciate everything around as well. Come on, let's get a move on. The condemning began. And so one grows into adulthood feeling that they are very slow. And they've heard it so often, they become slow in intellect, if you will. They become slow in all they do, slow in their decisions, slow in movement. Sort of always missing the grade, if you will. Not feeling that they would be able to play the game of baseball because they know they are so slow. Something to ponder. It is fascinating how lives unfold with others that sculpt them. It is fascinating. So we are encouraging you this day, if you are listening to these words, you are already on the path of higher consciousness, being very aware, very intuitive, wanting to experience higher consciousness. And we have always shared that the first step to higher consciousness is to be kind to oneself. So what are you hanging on to that perhaps was mentioned years ago, or 10 years ago, or by an ex-spouse? What are you hanging on to that someone has shared, said, do the deed unkind? Something that they had created, something that they have done towards you to make you feel less than. And we want to ask, where does competition fit into all this? Where does competition fit into all this? We mentioned one not wanting to play the game of baseball, deciding that they are too slow, couldn't keep up. Players quite a bit more skilled, so there'd be no point. And there are friendly games. There are friendly experiences where ones are just in it for the game to play. And then there is a place of competition. And not only competition, we want to say against another, because it's not for another, but competition upon one's own being. Upon one's own being. One wanting to run faster than they did the last time they ran a marathon. One's wanting to win the beauty pageant that they missed out on the year previous. And when one has the experience, but not the outcome one was hoping for, desiring for, someone else won, someone else was faster, someone got to wear the crown, someone else took the place of one's own victory, then what? Now, ones will say, but there's healthy competition. There isn't anything wrong with healthy competition. And we are not sharing there is anything wrong with any one thing. Not at all. We are asking where competition fits in. And if one is searching for higher consciousness, would competition feel as though it fits in? Now, ones will say, well, hey, wait a minute, hang on. I enjoy a good game with competition. I like to play cards. I like to win. There isn't anything wrong with that. And I am very compassionate. I am very kind. I am on the road to higher consciousness. Doesn't mean I cannot play a game and win. It is true. We are asking, does it fit in to higher consciousness? Ones can do many things all at once. And we're not wanting to change anyone. We are wanting to provide a space to allow ones to go searching for their own answers. To one, competition may be all it, and that would be their own personal answer. We are asking the question, does it fit in to higher consciousness? Does it fit in? When one ponders questions that do not have a yes or no answer, for it fits in or it doesn't, this can be very gray. So it is a wonderful question to ponder. Where does competition fit in with higher consciousness? Where does competition fit in with compassion? Can you have a very competitive game, a very competitive goal, if you will? One's wanting to create a world record, competing against truly all in the world when you think about it. A world record. World record. That means all that have tried it, all the ones in the world that have tried it and did not achieve the world record, but someone does. Where would ones be without competition? Where would ones be without competition? Well, it wouldn't be much fun to play the game if someone didn't win. Really? Are you sure? Are you sure? So many times, and we're speaking everyday world. We're speaking everyday world. We are not speaking competing in the Olympics. Such a small percentage. We're speaking on the everyday world. Competition between siblings, competition between co-workers, competition, who is liked the best. Competition on a daily level. Competition. Ones are truly in their victory of winning, so filled with joy and love and gratitude, and others in their victory of winning, so filled with arrogance and attitude that ones truly do not enjoy. And again, with the language not sort of everyday language, you could have a sore loser, but you could have a sore winner. And you could have one that did not win and be filled with joy just for the experience. And then you could have ones that win and not have joy at all in the experience. So where does it fit in? Because even if one's won, say they are running a race, and they get to the finish line and they are ahead of the others, but they're not ahead very much, seconds perhaps. Even though one has won the race, they beat themselves up for not coming in even at a better time. When does the competition stop? And is it needed? Now, some will say, if I'm running a race, I need to have my eye on the finish line. I need to know that I have to beat others in order to perform at my best. Understood. But what if you performed at your best, not even paying attention to the ones that perhaps you may beat, or the ones that may beat you? What if you just ran the race to your greatest, highest ability and the joy that moves the motion forth? What would happen if there was no competition? Would ones even want to participate? Someone has to come in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth to allow one to come in first. And all we are asking is for ones to ponder competition. Is it good for the soul? We know this is a very challenging conversation for ones who do participate in anything competitive or have a competitive nature. Will take great offense. And this sharing is not to offend anyone. We are asking, what would the world look like without competition? What would your day look like without an unkind word? What if everyone raised everyone? Meaning, what if everyone put everyone first, including themselves? What if the exchange was not competing against the co-worker, but truly coming together with the co-worker as one, each bringing skills forth, each enhancing the other? Ones will say, well, who would get the raise? If my performance certainly is outstanding and the other one is not, I should be compensated far greater than the other. It becomes a competition. So what if everyone was compensated the same? Same amount of pay at the end of the week for different jobs? Would it work? And we are only asking these questions for ones to ponder. For ones to ponder. Many are out to get the piece of the pie. How large is the piece? Is it the whole pie? Are ones content with half a pie? With a quarter of the pie? With an eighth of the pie? Are ones thankful that they have an eighth of the pie, or are they angry that they could not have the whole thing? So ones can have a pie all to themselves in the victory of, but there is not any sharing. Where is this conversation going? And it truly is going in circles because there are no real answers to the questions we are asking. All we are bringing forth is to be mindful of competition. To be mindful of it. Is it providing a healthy place in one's heart? Or is it going to create a space of absolute condemnation for oneself and for another or many others? How many children are placed in competitive sports only to truly disappoint their parents? And then they carry it. And they carry it, and they carry it, and they carry it. All layers covering up the light. So many parents get wrapped up in the world of competitiveness, competition. You see it in sports in children. You see it in sports in children. And then you see the rivalry against societies or communities. It becomes a competition between neighborhoods. Oh, the rich kid beat the poor kid. It's all condemning. It's all condemning. Now, some do compete for the love of competing, for the love of the experience. But how often does one truly feel fulfilled if the experience didn't have the outcome? And how many go home to a dinner table or home, perhaps not even dinner together, and they know they have let their parents down. They know they have let the community down, if you will. They know they have let the coach down, feeling that they have let everyone down, including themselves. What is the feeling with that? It isn't joy. It isn't contentment. It isn't happiness. It is true condemnation. We are encouraging ones to play sports. We are encouraging ones to play a competitive game, but to be mindful what the competition is bringing to oneself and to others. Is it healthy? Does it feel whole? Does it feel one? Does it feel of higher consciousness? One makes a mistake, if you will, in the game, threw the ball at the wrong time to the wrong person. Just an example. And one, why did you do that? Yelling, angry. You're a fool. Why did you do that? And then the names start. And this is all in the name of fun. We are asking ones to ponder. Ponder anything that has to deal with competition, and not only organized sports, but anything to play a musical instrument. We're not speaking about one with a pure passion for their instrument, wanting to improve each time they are one with their instrument. We're not speaking about that. We are speaking about being competitive. Where does it leave one to feel? Where does it leave one to stand? If they are standing in victory, oh, parents are so pleased, it all paid off. Parents are pleased, everyone's congratulating them. And would that not change one's perception of the world? But what happens when there's disappointment after the achievement? Is there more condemnation because one achieved greatness at another time? What happens when one has a brilliant report card all the years, finds a space to have a teacher they do not resonate with, and all of a sudden they have their first C on the report card, and they have to bring it home to the parent who has always seen the A's? What is the reaction? And it could be a number of things depending on how one looks at it. One might congratulate one, hey, your first C. I had many of those. This is the first one. Congratulations. C for congratulations. Others might say, are you kidding me? A C? Nobody in this family has ever received a C. Nobody. Nobody. It could have just as easily been an F. It's the same thing to me. C is just not acceptable. Does it wash away all the other A's on the report card? Does a C make all the other A's sort of go away, disappear into the paper? All the one sees is the C grade? We are sharing for ones to ponder, because we are speaking about higher consciousness. And we are sharing that unkind words to oneself and to others, lack of compassion to oneself and to others, unkindness, not being in the loving state, causes so much havoc, causes the layers to be placed upon, covering one's brilliance. So many, by the time they are 10 years old, do not feel brilliant at all. Too many failures. Too many outcomes that did not measure up. Who does the measuring? The conversation can go around in circles, and perhaps it has. We are just guiding that if one is truly competing, or one's children are competing, what is the outcome on one's being? What is held within after the competition? What is brought forth? Some will be playing a game. They get so irate, losing their temper, and all of a sudden there's a fight. One's physically beating each other up. Why? Because the ball didn't go where it was to go? And now ones are physically beating upon another? Something to ponder. Something to ponder. We want ones to understand the authentic self held within. We are wanting ones to understand that with higher consciousness, there isn't room for competition, being competitive. There is not room. And we will be challenged with this, we understand. But just ponder. Does the sun compete with the moon? Do the stars compete with one another? What is the competition when one views and ponders Mother Earth? Is there competition in Mother Earth? Or does everything come together and flourish together without being competitive at all? All the flowers in the beautiful garden, are they competing? Who's going to win first prize? All they are doing is embracing and enhancing one another to be all they are meant to be, not focusing on being better than anyone. focusing on being the grandest flower they can. And perhaps there is a wonderful award that someone is so advanced, they hold a world record. They can hold the world record and still have the highest sense of consciousness in the compassion for others, the compassion for oneself. One can hold a world record without ever condemning another, or without ever condemning oneself, but it's not often heard of. You want to be careful here. Because even if the one that holds the record, the media, and again, we want to be gentle, others around will find a space to let the world know who didn't win. To let the world know who didn't win. Just ponder it. Higher consciousness. It is who you are when you arrived on Mother Earth. It is who you are when you depart from Mother Earth. And we are just suggesting that ones find within the truest sense of who they are. And we are only asking, does competitiveness fit in? It is up to the one to have the answer. There is no right or wrong to the answer. An open dialogue for ones to ponder. What would life look like if there wasn't any competition at all? What would life look like if there was never condemnation, harsh judgment? Wouldn't it be a whole different world? Would it not fit into Mother Earth a little more smoothly? Think about it. Just ponder. Just ponder your brilliance. Just ponder your brilliance. There is great love for you.